Something funny happened today.
What happened?
I was cleaning my old stuff and I found a random box I hadn't opened in years.
The kind of box everyone has, but nobody wants to touch?
Exactly. Old pictures, old notes, random memories, things I completely forgot existed.
And let me guess, you spent an hour looking through everything instead of cleaning?
Maybe longer than an hour.
That's dangerous. Old memories have a weird power. You open one small thing and suddenly you're back in that exact moment.
That's actually true. It's crazy how one old song or one picture can change your entire mood.
Yeah. And what's even more interesting is that some memories stay stronger than others.
Like how?
Think about it. You can forget what you ate last Tuesday. You can forget a normal conversation from a few months ago. But some people, some moments, stay in your mind for years.
Yeah, especially someone who was important to you.
Exactly.
I think everyone has that one person they remember.
The person who changed something inside them.
Yeah, even if they don't talk anymore.
And that's what I find interesting. Why does that happen? Why is it so hard for people to forget their first love?
I think most people assume it's just because of the person.
But maybe it's not only about the person. Maybe it's about what our brain connects with that experience.
So you're saying our brain is actually involved in why we can't forget?
A lot more than people realize. Our brain doesn't just store memories, it stores emotions attached to those memories.
That explains why some memories feel so alive.
Exactly. Your first love isn't just a person you met. For many people, it's the first time they experienced certain emotions, the first time they felt truly understood, the first time they felt excited just seeing someone's name.
Or the first time a normal day suddenly felt special because one person was part of it.
And that's why first love can leave such a deep impression. Not because it was perfect, but because it was new.
I think that's something people don't talk about enough. Sometimes we don't miss the person exactly. Sometimes we miss the version of ourselves we were when we were with them.
That's actually a powerful point, because people change. Your first love might remind you of a time when life felt different. Maybe you were younger. Maybe you had different dreams. Maybe everything felt more simple.
So sometimes we're not only remembering a person, we're remembering an entire chapter of our life.
Exactly. And that's why moving on can feel confusing. Because your mind isn't deleting a person. It's letting go of a whole emotional experience.
And I think that's why people ask themselves, why do I still think about someone who is no longer in my life?
Yeah. And the answer is actually connected to how humans create emotional bonds.
So today, we're going to talk about why first love stays in our memory and what actually happens inside our mind when we form those deep connections. You know what's interesting, Ivy? Sometimes people say, I just can't forget them, and they think something's wrong with them.
Yeah, but humans are actually designed to remember emotional experiences. Our brain gives more importance to moments that create strong feelings.
So that's why a small memory can hit harder than a big event?
Exactly. Imagine you walk into a place where you spent time with someone important. Nothing actually happens. You just see that place, but suddenly your mind brings back everything. The conversations, the feelings, the version of yourself from that time.
It's almost like your brain saved that moment with a special label.
That's a good way to explain it. When something feels meaningful, our brain connects it with emotions, and emotional memories are harder to fade.
I think that's why some people can remember their first love after 10 or 20 years. Not every detail, but the feeling.
Exactly. They may forget the exact words someone said, they may forget the small moments, but they remember how that person made them feel.
That's actually powerful. Because sometimes we think we miss the person, but maybe we miss the feeling we had around them.
Yes. And there is another reason first love feels different. It's connected to discovery.
Meaning?
The first time you experience something, your brain pays extra attention. Your first big achievement, your first major failure, your first deep connection. These moments become markers in your life.
Like your brain saying, remember this. This matters.
Exactly. And for many people, first love happens during a time when they are discovering who they are. They are learning about themselves, their emotions, their expectations, their dreams.
So losing that person can sometimes feel like losing a part of yourself?
For some people, yes, because that person was connected to a version of their identity.
I remember someone once told me, I don't miss my first love. I miss who I was when I was with them.
That's actually one of the deepest parts of human connection. People don't just become memories, they become part of our story.
But then comes the difficult question. If someone becomes such a strong memory, how do we move forward?
The first step is understanding that remembering someone doesn't always mean you still need them.
Explain that?
A memory is not a message telling you to go back. Sometimes it's just proof that something mattered. You can appreciate a chapter of your life without needing to live in that chapter forever.
That's a really different way to look at it.
Because people often fight their memories. They say, why am I thinking about this person again? Why can't I forget? But the more you fight a thought, sometimes the stronger it feels.
So accepting the memory can actually make it easier?
Exactly. You don't have to hate your past to create a better future.
I think that's something a lot of people need to hear. Because first love is not always about the person you lost. Sometimes it's about the lesson you gained.
And maybe that's why first love stays. Not because it was always the best love, but because it was the first time your heart and mind experienced something new.
Maybe we don't really forget people who changed us. Maybe we just learn how to carry the memory differently.
And that's what makes us human. The ability to connect, to feel, to remember.
This was the connection theory.
And remember, every connection leaves a mark.